What is the youngest person you would date? You know, would you date someone 10 years younger than you, 15, 20? So I was thinking about that because I got done with my morning workout. I go to Starbucks, and there's this cute girl behind the counter. I mean, you know me, if I'm going to meet somebody, it's going to be, probably Starbucks, the gym, or somewhere. But, well, I say that for two reasons. So there was this cute girl behind the counter, and we're kind of flirting with each other. She's asking about certain tattoos that I have, and she had one. So I'm asking about her, and then, of course, I'm looking at her and getting a little excited, but nothing crazy. But I'm smooth enough I could ask for that number if I wanted to, and I could probably get it. Sometimes I get rejected, but I'm not shy anymore in my life. But also yesterday, like, I was in a college campus, and there was some girls, in their young 20s that I'm sure, I'm not prideful. I would probably get rejected by some, but I'm sure I could get with some if I wanted to. And so I say all that to say, just in my fantasy world, because you got to have a little bit of a fantasy world, all right? If you want to live a boring life, you're going to have you're going to just be, straight. Now, I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything crazy anymore. So I'm going to have a little bit of a fantasy life, and I'm sharing that with you. So sometimes in my mind, like I said, man, if I got this girl's number, you know what I mean, this and this and that. But she's really young. I mean, I always believe you got to do the legal thing. I would never date anyone, underage. But let's just say from 20 years old and up. I mean, I'm 37. So that's a huge difference. 17 years old. Now, I've also, though, dated very older girls. I've been with girls sometimes when I was in my young 30s all the way 50 years old. So, you know what I mean? That's like 20 years older than me. Hot MILFs. It's true. But what I'm just sharing on this topic is the first thing that I've learned in life regarding dating someone younger than you. Someone once told me that women mature faster than men. And to some extent, there's always exceptions. To some extent, I think that's true. I think women are more in tune with their nurturing, emotional selves, that from that standpoint they mature faster than men who or young men who are driven mainly by desires, mainly by lust, and mainly by pridefulness, trying to show off like I used to do. Oh, I'm this rich, successful guy. You know what I'm saying? And then when you come to realize that, let me tell you something to any men out there watching this, and especially young men. And I was sharing this with the young guys I was kicking with last week. If you try to impress any woman with a fancy, expensive gift, you look like a fool. The right women, they want a thoughtful gift. And the more you try to flash and show off, it's the opposite effect. They actually look at you like, you're not confident, that you're so insecure that you have to use your money to show off. So make a mental note for all my young guys out there, all right? Play it low key. And you actually do better driving an average car, you know what I mean, but carrying yourself proper, you do better than a guy with a nice car. I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you free advice here. I'm not asking for a donation. And so now, as I come to learn that, and then as I matured as a man, and I realized all these things, I could see why a lot of men, older men, may date younger women, because women tend to mature faster, and then, as a man gets older, they're kind of now at the same level, right? Because if a woman matures faster, and then you got a guy who's older, it takes him till he's, in his middle age before he's at the same maturity level maybe as a 30-year-old woman, then they kind of line up. So that may be one reason why, you know what I mean, there could be an age discrepancy. I mean, some is also always going to be physical, because when you're young, you're always going to be hotter. Even if you're in shape, that skin starts to wrinkle up. It's just the way it is. And, and so, the younger part of the attraction is always there. Would it work out? Do I think like an older guy and a younger girl would work out, or an older, or any type of combination, right? I don't know if it would. I don't think it would work out long term. I think, this is what I'm going to say, anything more than 5 to 7 years apart in age, I don't think would work out. On average, there will always be exceptions. Because I think once you get past 5 to 7 years of age difference, you're in a different cycle of your journey. You're in a different cycle of your life. So even though a woman may mature faster or whatever it may be on average, I mean, she's still got a game plan. You know, she's got a maternity clock ticking that she wants to have babies. She's got her game plan set. You know what I mean? So believe me. And you know, men, you know, we got our own, you know, things with our careers, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody's got their own goals. But I think on average, I think that in general terms, 5 to 7 years is just the max you could be apart in age. Just for general conversation, kind of like fantasy right now. Just bear with me. And two, like when I was dating an older girl that was, you know what I mean, up in age, close to 50. Like even though like we have fun together, and I was like, oh, you're my little like schoolboy or whatever, you know, that was 30. I was older, but it's like, you know, even her, like she's only going to do that for so long, because then once she gets into her 50s and 60s, she doesn't want to be seen to grow old. She doesn't want me to remember her being old, and I know that was part of like her insecurity. And so like as she had got older, like, you know, she don't want me to remember her like that, and you know, that time's passed, and she realizes that. She matured, you know, and not that I was trying to break anything off, but that's all part of it. So if you engage, here's the key, we're going to bring it home on this. If you engage in a relationship that is more than 5 to 7 years apart in age difference, you may be really setting yourself up for emotional hurt down the road. Now, certainly then as I say that, I've also, even though when I done a certain age apart, I experienced hurt, because, you know, eventually it's going to end. But I've also gained a lot. Also gained a lot of great memories, a lot of great times. So I think any relationship, you kind of sign up for that. You know, eventually this thing may end. So, you know, that's all part of the risk taking when you engage and let somebody else intimately in your life. But just for fun conversation, I was flirting with the young girl at Starbucks. It made me think, you know, how, you know, now that I'm 37, would I date, like, if, I don't know what she is, maybe 23, something like that. Would I date her? I might. But do I want to? No, I don't. Because it's just that whole game. I don't want to re-engage in that whole thing. You know, because, you know, eventually in a few years, I mean, she's going to want a family, and rightfully so. That's part of her dream. I'm sure, you know, I don't want that. And I'm sure there's some that don't, but even if they don't, I just don't want the responsibility of a relationship. And it is a responsibility. So I fully acknowledge that and accept that, and I don't want to be irresponsible. Well, just what about Sam? What just about the lust, the fun part of it? Yeah, I like that. Believe me, I like to fantasize about that, but I know enough to know, I've been through enough of that in life, that you can't dabble with it. You play with fire, you get burnt. I mean, it's like, eventually, you just think like you're just going to be friends and have sex. Eventually, it comes to an end. And it's usually nasty. It's usually crazy. Because, you know, one person's going to catch feelings, either me or them, and then it's just going to be a whole year of recovery. And so I don't know, that's just me. I'm just sharing. I like to give a variety of topics, and I like to give you a glimpse into my thought process, and just for fun too, I like to laugh a little bit, have a good time. So I'm curious to you, any of my viewers out there, what would be the biggest age difference you would date, whether it's older people or younger? Male or female, doesn't matter. What's the max age older and the max age younger that you would date? And what's your opinion and perspective on dating someone older or younger than you? I'm interested to see in what other people have experienced. I'm interested if anybody has experienced a successful relationship more than 10 years age difference. I don't know. Either way, those are my thoughts. I would like to have sex with that girl. I would. I don't think I will, but stay tuned. All right, stay inspired.